I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I really don't like Yuki. What they did to Yuki was essentially they pretty much nerfed a lot of her abilities and then added the whole R special experience and called that a rework. What I've noticed is that literally nobody, and I mean nobody at all, has posted like an actual tutorial video on her, you know? No guides, no anything. If you look everywhere, the most like recent video I've ever seen of Yuki was from 3 weeks ago. And it was this guy just testing out this small buff that she got. And, you know, there wasn't really much to it. Not many like insane combos. So I figured, since nobody's going to get to it, why not me? You know, why not just be the first one? Because I'm sure there's people out there that probably want to learn Yuki, but genuinely can't wrap their heads around it. Because trust me, even to this day, I still can't. But I'm just going to do what nobody else has done and give you guys a quick rundown. First move, obviously, same as always. Go to the rebound, kick it, hits him over to you. Rising Rage, sends him far up and knocks him away from you. Mass Breaker, close or from afar, doesn't matter. Dashes towards him, knocks him away. Gruda Stab, up close, hits him, and smacks him away. The only guard breakers on this character are Mass Breaker, Garuda Stab, and the second hit of Garuda Rebound, but the second hit of Garuda Rebound can be perfect block. The first R special, you need Max Bar. When you kick Garuda Rebound, it does a heavy charge up and you send them flying. So that's that. She has multiple parts to her R variant for Rising Rage. So if you just press it once, it does a small combo and knocks them away, concusses them too, gives them like a little effect on the screen. Here's where I really start disliking Yuki. If you do the second variant for it, this is what happens. Knocks them away. Now, you would think, that's not that bad, you know, just more damage, more combos to it, you know. That's pretty much it. Notice the green little thingy above his head, the green square. This indicates whether he is stunned or not. During the windup of the last hit, it is completely dodgeable. All you gotta do is just backdash and hold S the entire time. So yeah, this is where I really start disliking the quote-unquote rework, is when it comes down to that kind of bullcrap. Alright, so moving on, the Mass Breaker variant, you press 3 and then R. Instead of, you know, just doing a punch that knocks them straight away, instead launches them in the air, and also it's grounded compared to regular Mass Breaker, because regular Mass Breaker does not get grounded. But press R, does hit grounded, and it will launch. And then moving on, we got Garuda Stab, the R variant. Hits them up and whip them down. You know, real nice and easy. Afterwards, what you can do is go into the Mass Breaker variant. Man, I don't like. If you have issues hitting this, you know, maybe not like the best time aiming it or whatever, you just Rising Rage, it auto tracks and hits. Now, I'm gonna warn you ahead of time, it auto tracks 10 times better on a dummy than it does a player. So whenever you do it to a player, I found out for some reason it's camera based. Don't look up at the player while doing it, or else it will not auto track. Instead, while you do it, just Rising Rage, keep your camera down. As for like her main combos that I know you can do, this one, it's kind of unoptimal because JJS is not like Yuki, but you can try going with that. That's a small combo you can do. Like I said, very unoptimal. It works way differently on a player than it does a dummy, because auto tracking and whatnot just works 10 times better on dummies compared to players, and I'm assuming, you know, that's because ping issues. One thing you can still try to do, because even though they got rid of it, as long as you just have perfect timing on when they wake up, it doesn't really matter. You can still try and go for the aerial Mass Breaker, but the issue is just at the perfect time during the wake up. Yuki's a very like high skill ceiling character, because the issue is a lot of her stuff you have to be frame perfect on. So that's why it's a huge hit or miss for me, because if you're not frame perfect, then you ain't hit. Like that, for example, that was frame perfect, that was spot on. They couldn't do anything about that, but it requires like very precise timing. Otherwise, you just completely fail. And this. Yuki, she's not a combo kind of character. She really isn't. Personally, I don't like her because of that. she has a lot of neutral play, which in video game terms, for you just smooth brain Battlegrounds players up there, neutral play essentially means throwing moves out, pretty much. It's like using moves from a distance, not for combos, but to see if you can try and get damage and whatnot. So kind of like, you know, for example, this, you know, you would throw out something like this for neutral play, or you would throw out mass barrier. You know, just those type of moves, because frankly, you're not going to combo off of either of them, except for Garuda Rebound. Garuda Rebound is one of those neutral play moves where if you're lucky enough, you can get a combo off. Things like that. But yeah, that's my biggest gripe with Yuki. So, last but not least, of course, can't forget it,